Hi guys, today we're going to be looking at one of the new Lords of the West civilizations. We're looking at the Sicilians and we're actually going to be doing the Donjon rush. So this rush is done at 20 population and it's a bit of an adaptation of the 18 pop tower rush, just obviously with an extra couple of villagers which we'll be putting on wood. So usual start really, sends your first starting villagers to make houses, send them to sheep, new villagers on sheep till you've got 6, and then following on from that, the next 2 villagers that come out are going to go over to wood. So we do have loads and loads of different build orders on the channel, so do have a little look. This will be build order number 41, so quite a selection. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any further build orders, because there will be some new ones coming out for the new civilizations, then do hit the subscribe button. So this one is probably a strategy that I don't think is going to be nerfed at all, really. You never know, it might do. I think the actual sergeants that you'll be using later on will be nerfed, but perhaps not the actual rush itself. So the next villager that come out is going to go and lure the first boar, and then one more after that is also going to go on to boar as well. So we'll have a total of 8 on food there. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be nerfed as such in terms of the actual building of the donjons, because they don't get watchtowers or anything, so the actual build will probably still be quite sound for the foreseeable future. But the next villager to come out is going to go over, make a house, and then go over to berries, and then the next villager after that is going to go over to berries as well with a mill. But yeah, it's certainly a strategy that is taking the game by storm at the minute. Obviously we're on sort of day 2 after release, and a lot of people calling for this strategy to be nerfed, or at least the sergeants to be nerfed anyway, which I think is probably a fair reflection. By the time you get into the castle age, you can just spam the sergeants and it's just crazy. So yeah, they probably need to increase the cost of those. So next village to come out is going to go and lure the second boar. And then from this point onwards, we're going to send 4 onto sheep, taking us up to 18 population, and then we're going to send the final 2 over to wood. A little bit of a bit of a distraction there, delaying getting that mill down. So obviously, because you've only got 2 on wood, it just makes that quite difficult to do. So with this one, we're not necessarily going full sergeants in the feudal age. I think we're really just going to make 3, possibly 4 sergeants, and kind of use them in the same way as you would men at arms. So I don't think your economy can necessarily support making sergeants from multiple town centres, donjons, sorry, at this stage in the game. So I think you just got to use them as you know, similar role to men at arms, really. I would suggest. Now, because it's 20 pop, it can mean that it can be a little bit slow going up to the castle age. So normally hit castle age at about 24 minutes with the amount of times I've tried this strategy. I did do it at 22, which does mean you can get up a little bit sooner, but it's obviously not as quick being able to get over to the enemy base and start making the donjons. So it's, you know, swings and roundabouts, as we say in Britain. So after the final villagers come out, just getting loom, and then we're going to click up to the feudal age. So these 7 villagers there, we're going to send 5 of them over to stone, 2 over to wood, and then with these remaining sheep villagers, they're just going to collect food for a little bit, and then they will go forward. Well, we'll be sending 4 of them forward, which will just leave the 2 weakened villagers, or 2 weak villagers, on the sheep there for the time being. There we go, here's the 4 going forward. Probably could have sent them a little bit sooner. Do remember to get a house down at this point as well, just because you'll be stuck once you hit the feudal age if you don't. Now the enemy map's quite bad. The wood lines are really what I would have wanted to have targeted, but because of where they are, it's just going to be a bit difficult. So I decided to go for the front, try and keep them off this stone, the berries and this stone, and then I'm going to work my way around with donjons on this sort of right hand side of the map, As you can see, they are coming forward now. So as soon as we hit the feudal age, we pretty much want to make 4 new villages. Well, you probably only be able to queue up 2. Send them over to the barriers, but we will be sending 4 to barriers. We're going to get double bit axe, and then once we've got the 4 on barriers, you're going to either send 3 or 2, choice is yours, over to gold. And then pretty much after that, it's a case of just getting them on onto farms. So these 2 villages who are just finishing the sheep off, they will make farms as well once they've done. But yeah, just 4 over to berries, 2 or 3 to gold, and just keep making donjons. Now I am walling it in a bit of a peculiar way. I just find it a bit more difficult to wall up and protect the donjons from being attacked. Perhaps it's just because it is against the AI. Normally the AI just sends like pretty much its whole economy over to bring down your towers or your donjons or whatever. So kind of doing it that way just to give me a bit of a heads up as to when they're coming, really, because they've got a bit further distance to walk around to actually get to me. So yeah, we're at the point where we're just getting those villagers onto the berries. We are starting to wall up with a villager here, although he's just having a bit of a break. So yeah, you can possibly start walling up at this point as well. Now the villagers we've sent forward, eventually we will get them on a wood line. But as you can see, we've not really got the economy to start getting sergeants out yet, or sergeant, however you want to pronounce it, I don't know. But yeah, here we go. We're starting to get walled up a little bit. So yeah, it's going to take a little while before we can do that. That's probably where the 22 pop version was a bit better. You'd be able to get the sergeants out a little bit quicker. But again, you'd just be slow with the actual rush, the actual attack. So potentially in a multiplayer game, you'd be able to deny some military buildings from these. If you were a bit sooner, which is good. So I do go for 3 on this one. So from this point onwards, it's just a case of sending your villagers to straggler trees and start making farms when you've got enough wood. Once your berries have run out, you'll send all of your berry villagers over to the wood as well, and then gradually start filtering them off and making farms and starting to get up to the next age. Which you can see, I'm just having to try and wall up a little bit. There we go. I do get housed in a minute. Like so. Quickly pop them back out to finish that house off. So at this point, this is where I've started making some sergeants. I've only got 2 on the way, but I'm kind of going for 3. And as I stated earlier, just using them as in the same way as I would men at arms. And then this villager here is still just going around walling up. So walls are probably a little bit late coming up, so it can leave you quite vulnerable. You may want to do it a little bit differently, just wall around your resources directly to stop them getting attacked. And likewise around here with the stone, because you never know if scouts come in or something along those lines, you could be in a bit of trouble. But we do have the 3rd sergeant coming up. I'm going to call them sergeants rather than sergeant. But with those 4 villages, we will be looking at getting a lumber camp down here as well pretty soon. But we're going to get the next donjon down first, and then we will get that lumber camp down there as well. So once you've got that all up and running, you should be able to just keep growing your economy and start getting the sergeants out, and eventually you'll get to a stage where you've got loads and loads of sergeants like this. So it is important to note that I did get wheelbarrow just before we'd clicked up, so that's why we're perhaps a bit later as well hitting the castle age. If we'd have obviously kept hold of those, we would have been absolutely fine. Apologies for the message popping up there. But yeah, as you can see, you've got loads of sergeants at this point. Once you've hit castle age, they have been upgraded automatically upon hitting the castle age, and you can pretty much just spam sergeants from this point onwards. So if you enjoy Age of Empires 2 content, you're looking to improve the game or learn build orders, start now by subscribing to the channel. That's it for this one, guys. I'll see you on the next one.